Let's check in with Turning Point's White House correspondent Monica Paige at the White House. Monica, economics, big forefront of the president's campaign and first administration, obviously. Inflation numbers came out today. What's the White House saying regarding those numbers?
Yeah, those numbers came out cooler than predicted, cooler than experts they were expecting. Quite frankly, at 2.7%, I believe they were expecting 2.8% for the month of July. But this is a pretty decent number, especially considering that a lot of these left-wing reporters and a lot of people were suspecting that tariffs would play a huge role in seeing the inflation numbers tick up. But that doesn't seem to be the case here. Now, when President Trump first took office in January, the 6-month annualized core inflation rate was at a whopping 3.7%. So this number just goes to show that we are trending in the right direction. And this number also shows that when you look at the bigger picture here, it could possibly lead to a good sign next month when the Fed takes a look and sees, should we cut rates or not? Well, this should be a key indicator that the Fed probably should cut rates. And even looking at the bigger picture again here, Jobob, when you talk about small businesses, they're kind of the forefront of our nation. And the president has really been putting small businesses and its American people first. And the small business optimism is actually at a 5-month high at this point, which is pretty good. And there's a net 36% of small business owners are expecting their business conditions to improve. So it all seems like positive signs here at the White House. And Caroline Levitt in the press briefing this afternoon just reinforced that.
It's super interesting because it all depends on who you read. Because, yes, it beat expectations. Experts were saying it's going to be much higher, actually came in lower, which is great. But also, you have the lib media outlets saying, well, it's still higher than where we want it to be, so it's bad. It was just like, oh my gosh, you just give me what the numbers are, what they mean, and let's get on with our day here. Speaking of things going on at the White House, Pencil Neck Adam Schiff, I think is that his actual first name? Pencil Neck Adam Schiff. The smallest, thinnest neck he's ever seen. Looks like he could be in some trouble for authorizing some leaks. What is the White House saying about the senator from the state of California?
Yeah, I like to alternate between pencil neck and watermelon head, depending on what President Trump's feeling for that day. That's my favorite nickname. But there's a report coming out where a whistleblower, who's not a Republican, by the way, he apparently identifies as a Democrat, who's worked for 12 years within kind of like the inner workings of the Hill or whatever it may be in the deep state government, whatever it may be, but alleging that Congressman Adam Schiff was leaking classified information in order to smear President Trump when it came to the Russiagate probe. Now, this is huge because if proven to be true, you're using classified information to shape a narrative, shape a political narrative, especially when it comes to the President of the United States. So Kash Patel released this just last night, and I was curious to know what the White House would respond to this. So I was able to ask that question in the briefing room this afternoon, and Caroline Levitt really doubled down on the fact that there needs to be more investigations where whether it's Pam Bondi, whether it's Tulsi Gabbard, really diving into this, because I think that we're just scratching the surface here, Joe Bob. More information I am expecting is to come out. I'd say I think the work is far from over, but people want to see perp walks. People want to see some accountability. And all that is going to come down to is when and what does that even look like? So I'd say stay tuned, Joe Bob. Pretty bombshell information.
It would appear that all of the information against Senator Schiff is in plain sight, if you understand the reference from not all that long ago. Monica Paige, Turning Point's White House correspondent, thanks so much for taking the time.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.